Hey everybody, welcome to the Tech for All channel, and you are seeing me through the lens of the Eken V8S. So that's the camera I'm about to review now, and I'll start with something really important. The version that you're looking through is version 3. Now, across the internet I found a lot of reviews about this camera, most of which weren't praising the capabilities of this camera, if I can say so. Actually, most of the videos were rather negative, and I'll of course try to stay away from those negative intentions, and I'll try to be as honest as possible. What turns out is that since the end of August there is a third hardware revision of this camera, and prior to that there already were 2 hardware revisions anyways. Which are the differences? It's right now hard for me to say. I've already got in touch with Eken over Facebook. That's the only social media they responded to me from, and they told me that version 3 is the newest and the best out of the 3, but I don't know about any hardware differences yet. Maybe by the time I'm ready with the deep dive video, which is about to follow soon, I'm gonna get some more details and will of course share them with you. Now, some infos about action cameras this year. First things first, the GoPro Hero 6 was just announced a few days ago, and apparently that's going to be the first camera supporting 60 frames per second on 4K recording, which is marvelous. And quite apparently there already is a breakthrough with the standard of processing of action cameras, so I'm really looking forward to the forthcoming SJ8. And there's going to be a few other models, including from GitHub, maybe from Firefly, and we'll see who else is going to join. Eken are also preparing some new models which are about to be revealed in January 2018. Now, this camera comes with Ambarella A12 chipset, and this is very typical for the better cameras of 2017. Comes with Sony optics. We talk here about the Sony IMX117, and we have the same combination in other cameras. Think of the V8S, think of the GS7 Star, think of Firefly 8S, and so on. What makes this camera unique though is the ability to stabilize the footage at 4K, and that's the only action camera running the A12 chipset which is capable of 4K stabilization. The weird fact, you can't turn it off. So there is no resolution, at least in the firmware here, that works without image stabilization, which is a bit of a strange thing. And if you don't like these artifacts of the picture when the picture is moving, when you have stabilization, unfortunately you would be disappointed, because over here you can't get rid of them. There's also plenty of other information in regard to the Eken V8S, so if you're curious to find out about this third revision of the Eken's camera, now is the time. Eken are great at advertising their products, and they offer likely the most colorful and tempting ads. And this made me want to try this camera. The packaging is inspired by GoPro, and I have to admit it's maybe the best packaging of Chinese Actioncam brand so far. The initial impression that you get is awesome, and that feeling carries over after you unbox it. The camera has premium design that reminds of the older GoPros. There's a monochromic display on the front, providing footage information and current battery status. We have a Sony IMX117 and Ambarella A12S75 chipset, standard for high-end Chinese action cameras right now. The sides are covered by rubberized plastic, and although there isn't any aluminum or magnesium on the body, it still feels good. I like very much what Eken have achieved with microSD compatibility. As soon as you insert a microSD card, it is being tested, and depending on the results, 4K may be available or not. What I don't like here is how the camera treats my U3 cards. None of them were accepted no matter what, and I can easily use them in Panasonic G7, where the video bitrate is about 100 megabits. That's the reason why this video is not shot at 4K. Of course, I found a way to overcome the limitation. The test that you have seen creates a small conf file in the root of your card. Put the number 116 as a value, and you may be able to record at 4K. If your card is not fast enough though, the recording will just stop. My first tests with the Eken V8S have left me with rather mixed feelings. On daylight, it does pretty well if there are not too many shadows. There seems to be a bit more noise than usual. What I like though is the stabilization. It seems to do a decent job, colors are well saturated and seem to be accurate. Weirdly, the picture is not sharp and everything looks somewhat defocused. There's a lack of detail to most of the objects. One of the things I tend to complain about is battery life, approximately just 60 minutes. Luckily, additional batteries are easy to find at a rather cheap price. Quick navigation through the menus shows much less than the usual amount of extras. We have only up to 60 frames per second on Full HD recording, and it is a surprise to me not to see 120 FPS as we have it on other cameras with the same hardware. There also is no car mode. You may find some picture control settings, time-lapse configuration and Wi-Fi settings. So, what is your opinion? Do you like the Eken V8S version 3? I don't know if you're looking to buy this camera, better check with the seller whether the revision that you're going to buy is version 3, because I've seen other reviews of this camera and yeah, I think this newer hardware version works a bit better and the image quality is superior to the older variations. On top of that, the price of this camera is pretty tempting. You can buy it at about $120, and there's a nice link with a coupon expecting you in the description of this video. And I believe this camera has possibly some of the best accessories that it comes with. So certainly that is a model to be considered, unless you have your doubts because of the lack of 120 frames per second of 1080p recording. Of course, like usual, there's going to be a follow-up video which I call the deep dive, where I'm exploring the camera in depth with most of its features and scenes and possible resolutions. So if you want to try this camera or ask me trying this camera under specific conditions, please help me. There's the comment section below, and I hope you're gonna join me over there. Until then, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and looking forward to see you in the next one.